Hey, it's Chris. What are we doing? Top 3 coming to crowdfunding this week. And truth be told, the one sitting in front of me right now is going to eclipse everything else because, well, you'll know why in a second. But yeah, no roundup yesterday. I mean, there were about 3, 4, 5 games at most. Small ones. I just want to loop them into next week. So in case you didn't see it, well, it wasn't there. In case you did see it, though, a little bit of a menagerie of review from 6 games. Recent hot releases that you can check out earlier in the week, though, because that was fun to do. It's a lot of work putting all those things in one video, but I think it worked out relatively well. So go check that one out. So let's go. 3 games. What do you need to know? First one up, sitting right in front of me, Cascadero. This is the new KNIZIA. This is going to be the doctor's latest of the laying down tile-ish games. Yeah. So what do you need to know about this? This is coming from Bitewing. It's going to come with a roll and write Cascadero version as well. I'm going to talk to you about this one though right now. I'll have a video out that goes live on the launch in addition. But spoilers right now, it's good. It's different. Like the biggest question I think a lot of people have with these is, are they different enough? Can you have them all? You can. Not speaking from personal experience here, but I am speaking from personal experience here. So yeah. So what do you need to know about this one? You have a hex-based sort of board setup where you're going to be putting your wee little envoys on there, and you're going to be slowly encircling and eventually touching these towns. And how you touch these towns is actually going to be the thing, because if you touch it with one envoy alone, you can't score it. Not only can you not score it then, but you don't get to score it if it's already been touching when you make it a big enough envoy to score in the first place. And that's the tricky nuance, because this board is relatively crowded with the town spaces in between. And so when you touch it really matters, because you have these 5 victory tracks over on this side of the board next to it that you're going to be moving up in the main way to get victory points in the first place. And you're going to have some combo chaining going on, and you're going to have some a little bit of set collection-ish in the center of the board, where you have both shared collective achievements where everybody can get all of them, or you also have about half a dozen that only the first person to get them is going to score for as well. And it gives you a vibe, and very loose vibe. Check out my video in the next 2 days when that goes live, of talking about the comparison with Blue Lagoon and Babylonia, because those are the ones it sort of gives me the mishmash of, but sort of like a reverse Babylonia, if you will. And I say that as a compliment. It's going to be, I would argue, it's a little bit thinkier than either of those because of the nuance placement. Babylonia is straightforward, but there's some strategy in how you connect things. Blue Lagoon is the same, but in a simpler way. This sort of flips the script, if you will, in a very nice natured way, especially with the scoring. The scoring was really odd the first time, because when you score the towns, you don't actually score points for them. You score along this track along the side. So it's cool. It's cool. You'll like it. Cascadero, that's a whole nother video. I'm going to do that with the Cascadero as well. But I'll be frank with you, I still have to play that a little bit more to give you more thoughts. But that is by far and away, number 1. And, if you looked at my video at the beginning of the month even, this was in my top 3 games of the month as a whole. And I'll tell you right now, if you like this style of game, this Euro mechanistic approach with high strategy, low rules, this one is fantastic, just like his other games. It is. I think the rules were something like 5 or 6 pages total. And a good amount of that is also examples as well, with an advanced variant and 2-sided boards here that will talk about the differences as well. So all in all, yeah, if you like the other ones, or if you're looking to get in one, this is a good one to start with too. Those other 2 that I mentioned, though, those are great starting points as well. I don't recommend Tigris and Euphrates and Yellow Yangtze as the starting points, just FYI. But what else do we got going on? Well, the second one we have going on up is Flame and Fang. And this is going to be sort of a 1 to 4 player cooperative game where you're guiding dragons through these cooperative chapter event scenarios. And you're sort of progressing as you go with not only deck building, but also hand management, action selection, and some sort of maybe cooperative actual planning. Like, how you kind of do that? How cooperative is it going to be? Is it going to be truly action programming? Is it going to be quarterbacking, where you're collectively making the agreement together? Are you individually making agreements and just sort of having to silently nod along the side of your partners? We'll see. I mean, I kind of like the aesthetic. You know me, I'm always a sucker for a good co-op game. And, you know, dragons are dragons, right? So we're going to kind of see what's going on here. And 3 different aspects that you're going to be doing. You're going to be fighting, flighting, and thirsting for hunt. So how you incorporate that, how you make it slightly different through the scenarios, we'll see. Escape velocity games. So that is number 2. Number 3 is a French dungeon crawl called Erune. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but what you've got going on here is a dungeon crawl 1 to 5 with a vocal app that evolves with you. Essentially, you're going to be taking spirits and you're trying to thwart what's called the Master of Shadows. And this was also a crowdfunding game originally, and we're getting a Light and Darkness expansion here to go along with it. New stuff, new quests, new monsters, and new adventurers. That's kind of all the Board Game Geek listing says at this point. This is a very interesting one. I don't really know what to expect of this. After it got delivered, I saw the Facebook Marketplace and Board Game Geek Marketplace kind of have quite a few on the secondary market right away. Not sure if that's from a oversaturation on the dungeon crawl or it's just not as what people wanted in the first place. I mean, it's only got sub 200 ratings on Board Game Geek. Now, granted, Kickstarter and ratings and 8.2, take that for what you will. But also app-based situations and using the 4 spirits that are going to be adventure, luck, knowledge, and evolution. Again, I'm not as familiar with the base game, and I think I kind of remember this one the first time around, but with all the other campaign dungeon crawl type games in the first place, this one's fallen under the radar, and I have no idea what sort of backing or support this one is going to have overall for people. So it'll be an interesting tune-in, if nothing else. Because, you know, we had a few other games launching this week, but really the 2 following weeks after this, the 17th and the 24th, those are the massive weeks of this month. Massive, massive weeks. And that's not even knowing whether or not at the time of me filming this, Deceased, the Zombicide game, is going to be launching sometime in then too, because I wouldn't be surprised if shortly after I film this or air this, that they're going to announce that. Because, yeah, CMON usually CMONs. So what am I doing? Well, you know, I got a bunch of reviews. I did all of those in that video because, again, I feel like sometimes those videos do a little bit better. And my indie one didn't do nearly as well, but this one did a lot better. You guys like this one a little bit better, the hot new releases. Because sometimes I feel like those games individually don't always attract people. But if you put a couple of them into a video as a whole, it attracts more people. And really what I try to do is trying to get more people interested in games you may not heard of as well. So I kind of like doing a combination thereof. Still got like half a dozen reviews. I also have a video for Fromage, as that's ending this coming week, from R2I Games. Like I said, Cascadero, a little bit of everything else. I have a few other reviews that are done, a few other reviews that are pending. Castles of Burgundy we'll be talking about shortly. Fit to Print we'll be talking about shortly. Yeah, that's sort of the big stuff on my radar right now that's going to be coming out. Again, I have a couple of those 17th games. I have the Old King's Crown, as well as I have Time Strike. The massive HeroScape-esque version with a board game to go along with it. And so those are going to be my ones the following week that you'll be seeing from me, very, very heavily speaking. That's pretty much my rest of the month. I have 1 or 2 other prototypes. I think I have one that's launching, 1 or 2 that are launching at the end of October, even early November as well. That'll come up shortly, but nothing else really pressing, thankfully, as well, because again, I just kind of got to get videos out rather than keeping collecting games in that sense. So the turnover there sometimes it's tough. It's real on this side of the camera. So yeah, there we go. Otherwise, what am I actually doing though right now? At the time of you watching this, I might be actually celebrating my brother's wedding because he is getting married today at the time you're watching this. And so we're working out that, and I'm going to be having to do that all day. I'm the best man, right? Because do. So at the time of me filming this, I don't even have my speech written because I'm an ad-libber, and we're going to see how well this goes. Small wedding, though. Small wedding. It's actually at my parents' house. It's going to be just kind of nice. My kids are going to be ushers, and my 3-year-old is going to be tossing rice or flowers. I don't really know, but just getting him in the suit somehow is going to be the biggest challenge of the day regardless. So, you know, I just got to show up and be there. But we're also celebrating a birthday on my wife's side as well in the same day. So like the middle of the day, while the kids have nothing going on, they're going to be partying, eating pizza and cake. And then they're going to come and eat a whole bunch of other cake and other stuff after the wedding too. So, I mean, it's a win-win for them all weekend long. Great time for them. Super busy for us though, because wedding, right? That's all I got. Otherwise, I got a lot of other stuff just kind of percolating and just interesting things to talk about hopefully in the future. If you have any topics you want to see me cover, let me know. I'm always up for interesting topics to cover, interesting things within the hobby. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about dancing at the wedding. My wife hates dancing just as much as I do. Win-win. Yes.